Welcome to the show, and in this series we are going through every tier in my 5-tier credit card ladder system. This is a system that I came up with to let you know what kind of credit cards in the US credit card market you can expect to get approved for, at what credit score and what level of income, and also crucially what benefits you should expect from them at each tier, so that you don't sign up for something that takes a load of your money in the form of a huge annual fee but gives you very little benefit in return. Show me the money! And that is especially important with the tier 4 cards that we are going to talk about in this video, which are premium travel rewards cards. They do give you a load of perks and benefits all to do with luxury travel, but they normally have high annual fees. And we do not want you to get cheated with an inferior product. And there are some really inferior cards in tier 4, like you will see later on in this video. So this is how to climb the credit card ladder, Tier 4 Premium Rewards Cards Explained. So first of all, we're going to talk about how to get approved for one of these cards, and then we're going to get into talking about the benefits and the fees that you should expect. Now, in terms of credit score, I'm going to suggest 720 and above to apply for one of these cards. That doesn't mean that you couldn't get approved with like a 705 credit score if your income and other factors were good. After all, people say that with a credit score of 700 or above, you can basically get approved for any card. But 720 is what I'd recommend, especially if your credit history isn't that long. Then for income, obviously the higher the better. If you're able to put down on the application form somewhere around the average household income for people in the US around 50 to 60,000, you should be good to go. Even people who are a bit lower, 40,000 or even in the 30s, should be fine getting approved for one of these cards as long as credit score and other factors are all good. But if you're earning a very low income, for example 15,000 a year, you may not get approved for one of these cards at that income level. And also remember that these cards are designed for big spenders, so at that level of income with that low level of spending, you may not benefit from the perks of these cards anyway. Don't forget though that the income you put down on the form is household income. So let's say you do only work part-time and earn 15,000 a year, but then your spouse works full-time and earns 40,000. Well, you could put down 55,000 on the form as your household income. All right, now let's look at the benefits that you typically get from tier 4 cards. Now, the first benefit that is really noticeable and really sets tier 4 cards apart from tier 3 cards is airport lounge access. Almost all of them provide some kind of airport lounge access, and the most common program is Priority Pass Select. It gives you access to over 1,000 lounges across the world. Some of them are mediocre, and some of them are actually pretty luxurious. But then some cards might also give you access to a particular bank's own brand of lounges, and airline-specific cards may give you airline lounges as well. For example, the Tier 4 American Airlines card from Citibank gives you Admirals Club access. These cards offer welcome bonuses typically a little bit higher than Tier 3 cards, so 100,000 points or over $1,000 in value is pretty common. And they normally earn great points multipliers on the travel category, often 5 points per dollar on airline tickets or travel booked through that bank's travel portal is common. And the points they earn tend to be transferable points that you can transfer out to airline and hotel transfer partners, or they could be specific airline or hotel points. Cards that own cashback are much less common in this tier. These cards almost always provide a $100 credit every 4 years for either global entry or TSA PreCheck, which is a program that helps you get through the airport faster. And pro tip, always go for global entry because it includes TSA Pre anyway. Then some tier 4 cards may also give you high level status with certain hotel chains, and they might also give you access to a hotel collection that if you book through the collection, you can get additional benefits like free breakfast, upgraded rooms, late checkout, etc. at some of the world's finest hotels, and these can be really lucrative. I'll tell you more about them later on in the video. Lastly, these cards will often give you a credit for certain services, such as a travel credit where they refund you several $100s a year for your spending on travel. It might be with a specific airline or through a travel portal. There also might be Uber credits or a credit for certain streaming subscriptions, etc. As a rule of thumb, that's my thumb, the higher the annual fee, the more credits the card will provide, and this has led to some tier 4 cards being called coupon books in recent years. Now, speaking of annual fees, what should you expect? We don't want you to get screwed over with an annual fee that makes you bankrupt.
I declare Bankruptcy!
Well, all of the cards in this tier used to be $450, but now you can expect higher annual fees, but with more generous credits. So all of the cards that I recommend in this tier are between around $400 and $700. And there are even higher annual fees on some of the ones that I do not recommend. I'll tell you about those at the end of the video. But let's get into actually talking about some specific tier 4 cards. But first of all, if you are interested in these premium travel cards, I guess you're interested in the finer things in life and making money and investing in general. And in the current environment of high inflation and falling markets, you may be looking for alternative investments. Well, there is one asset class that bucks the trend when it comes to the current economic environment, and that is contemporary art. If you look at the numbers, contemporary art prices have outperformed the S&P 500 by 164% over the past few decades. And the last time inflation was this high, contemporary art had better appreciation than gold, real estate, and the S&P. But when have you been able to afford a Picasso? Traditionally, this has been an asset class that only the billionaires can get in on. Well, not anymore, because Masterworks is democratizing the process and letting the average investor get in on contemporary art. It's really simple. They buy some artwork, scrutinize it with the SEC, and then you're able to buy fractional shares in it on their website. If you ever need liquidity, you can sell those shares on Masterworks' secondary market, or you can wait until they sell the painting and take a profit. To date, Masterworks has sold 5 paintings with an average net return of 26.8%, and that's through COVID, a bear market, and scathing inflation. Now, legally, I do have to add that past performance is not indicative of future results. However, this does look like an interesting opportunity to me, especially because it is not correlated with stocks, bonds, or crypto. So start diversifying your portfolio today by going to masterworks.art/Ben Hedges or clicking the link below. So let's now get into some examples of cards in this tier. The Chase Sapphire Reserve is a long-term member of tier 4. It has a $550 annual fee, but it gives you a 60,000 point welcome bonus, a $300 travel credit that gets you more than half the annual fee back. It gives you the $100 global entry TSA pre-credit. It gives you lounge access through Priority Pass and the new Sapphire lounges that are coming soon. And it gives you access to the luxury hotels and resorts collection, which gives you a load of extra benefits at select hotels. Then you also get 5 points per dollar on flights through Chase's travel portal and a few extra benefits like car rental status, travel insurance, etc. Another card in tier 4 that's kind of like the new kid on the block is the Capital One Venture X card. This card has a lower annual fee of just under $400, but it gives you a 75,000 point welcome bonus, another $300 travel credit for the Capital One travel portal, the $100 global entry TSA pre-check credit every 4 years, 2 miles per dollar on all spending, and 5 miles on flights, and 10 miles per dollar on hotels through Capital One Travel. And of course, access to Priority Pass lounges, Plaza Premium lounges, and Capital One lounges, which most of them are coming soon. I think there's only 1 or 2 of them open so far. Then we have the Amex Platinum, which you could argue is the king of tier 4 cards. It has a $695 annual fee, but it gives you over $1,500 worth of credits that offset that annual fee. The card gives you global entry and TSA pre, of course. Then it also earns 5 points per dollar on flights booked directly with airlines. And on top of that, it gives you the most comprehensive lounge access of any US credit card. You've got Amex Centurion lounges, Priority Pass, Escape lounges, Delta Sky Clubs, Plaza Premium, and Airspace lounges. The card also gives you Hilton and Marriott Gold status, which can get you upgrades on hotels. And then there is also the Amex Fine Hotels and Resorts collection. And I've personally used this collection for a load of benefits such as early check-ins, late checkouts, a $100 credit for room service, room upgrades. I even got an upgrade to a suite at the Conrad in Las Vegas, which was awesome. Upgrade to a corner room at the Conrad in DC. I stayed at a lot of Conrads. And I would say the value I've got out of just the Fine Hotels and Resorts collection, to be honest, even just this year, has justified the annual fee. Now, in addition to cards with transferable points in tier 4, like these Chase Sapphire Reserve, the Capital One Venture X, and the Amex Platinum, there are also airline and hotel specific cards. The American Airlines Executive Card gives you Admirals Club access, plus a global entry TSA pre-check, credit, and a load of benefits on American Airlines for a $450 annual fee. And Delta and United have similar tier 4 cards too. For hotel cards, a great example example in tier 4 is the Hilton Aspire American Express. It gives you Hilton's highest status, Diamond, plus Priority Pass Airport Lounge access and $600 worth of credits that could offset the mere $450 annual fee. This is one of the most underrated cards out there in my opinion. So now you know what benefits tier 4 cards should provide. Let's now look at some of the ones that aren't worth the money in my opinion. A great example is the so-called luxury card. Luxury card. Their black and gold cards fit into tier 4 with a $495 and a $995 annual fee respectively.
Luxury card is the perfect card for me and my busy schedule.
But don't take model Kate Brock's word for it. These cards fall really short. First of all, there's no welcome bonus on any of them, so you're losing instantly about $1,000 in value compared to other cards in tier 4 in your first year. Now on the black card, there is a $100 airline credit that is valid for tickets, so I guess it's easy to use, takes down the annual fee a little bit. Then you do get a TSA pre-global entry credit, you do get Priority Pass lounge access, but you only earn 1 point per dollar on your spending. Now the points can be redeemed at 2 cents per point when you book travel through their travel portal, but if these cards provided transfer partners, you could redeem points at around 2 cents per point in value anyway. Even more ridiculous is the gold card. It has almost the exact same benefits as the black card, almost, but it's $500 more expensive, mainly due to the fact that it's plated with 24 karat gold. And all of these luxury cards give you access to this supposedly exclusive collector's edition magazine. But there's one problem with that. You can actually read the entire magazine online, and most of it's ads anyway. So guys, don't assume just because you see a high annual fee and luxury branding that it is on par with other cards in tier 4. In this video, we have shown you how to get approved, what benefits to look out for, and some examples of cards that you should avoid. As a general rule with tier 4 cards, I think you should be able to make back the entire annual fee and then even more value in the first year due to the welcome bonus. And then in subsequent years, you should at least be able to make back half or more of the annual fee through credits and benefits. Big spenders and regular travelers should find that these cards are actually a net positive value every year. And that is crucial because if your spending is not high enough or you don't travel enough, which would probably coincide with high spending, these cards probably won't be worth it for you after the first year, after you've had the bonus. If you fit into that category, but you want one of these cards anyway for the lounge access, then I would recommend the Capital One Venture X. It is the cheapest way of getting unlimited Priority Pass, plus a few other types of lounges in tier 4. Also in general, I would recommend only one tier 4 card per person, because if you have more than one, you actually end up doubling up on a lot of benefits and doubling up on annual fees. However, there may be some scenarios where you can make 2 tier 4 cards pay for themselves. For example, if you had a trip to a Hilton resort coming up and you wanted to get the Hilton Aspire Amex for the diamond status and you're going to use all the credits, then basically you're not paying an annual fee that year because you're making genuine use of the credits. And perhaps you have the Amex Platinum as well and you use that for certain other benefits and it pays for itself. So your mileage may vary, but at a minimum, when dealing with cards with high annual fees, do the math to make sure that they are actually worth it. A big thank you to Masterworks for sponsoring this video. You can check out their service with the link below. Guys, we'll be having a video for tier 5 cards coming out very shortly. Those are invitation only black cards. But if you can't wait until then, you can check out our previous videos on tier 1, 2, and 3 on the channel. Please subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.